I want to take a moment to talk about some tech. I want to talk about how I've acquired what I've got. And people might think or maybe I'm wealthier than I am. I really ain't. I just make decisions that I think personally are like beneficial. I think it's well thought out. I'm not just reckless, but it means I manage to have things I want, and it's comparable to other things that maybe some people take for granted. So effectively, the thing we could all have a pot of money, and it's like, how do you spend that money? Some people validate it with something here, something there. Some people just get every single streaming subscription because they don't want to go without a script. But then that comes at a price, doesn't it? So this is where it all comes into balance. Like, think of the things you can have for a similar value, and it's quite incredible, really. I'm not saying what I'm doing is the best decision, or someone can probably do even better than me. But sometimes it's going to come down. For instance, if you're going to get things financed, it's like sometimes it might come down to your credit rating and the opportunities you have. So someone might be able to just get everything interest free. Well, that'd be great. You just make your payments, it's paid off. Someone else might have higher interest rates. So at the end of payments and that, it's cost a lot of money. Someone else, maybe don't have all the options. So you've just got to weigh it up a little bit. But I wanted to show a little bit about how I've got what I've got, and I've got nice things. And it's been a gradual progression. Again, look, I understand on the outside it can look a bit crazy, but I want to show the comparison of it so you could understand where I'm coming from to a degree. I'm a tech person. I like to have the latest things. I just do. Like for instance, I've got the AirPod Pro 2, the AirPod Pro 3 come out. I'm hearing they got better noise cancelling. I'm someone that needs noise cancelling, and they've got better sound quality. And when we talk about sound quality, I'm thinking along the lines of bass. The AirPod Pro, the first gen, they didn't have a lot of bass at all. Second gen, all of a sudden, they increased the bass. It was like, oh, now these actually sound like headphones. If they're going to amplify that again, then that's something I need to be a part of. Again, we're going to divert a little bit here and there, but I just want to again, put some perspective on this. So the first set I bought, I paid outright, and then I upgraded. I paid outright for the Pro 2. Gave my mum my Pros. She'd never even had headphones, earbuds and things. She's not a tech person. I always feel bad that she doesn't have things because she doesn't know about things. And everybody else around her has nice things, you know? So she bought some cheap Amazon ones, the Echo ones. They're terrible. And because I upgraded mine, I was like, you know what? I think you could do with some nice ones because she's having trouble with them. She didn't really understand them. These are easier. Then my daughter all of a sudden was like, oh, I could have had the Pros. It's like, well, I've already given them to her now and she's really excited. And I'll just give you mine later on if I ever upgrade again. So yeah, my daughter gets some things, but I don't, sometimes I think someone else needs something. So anyway, if I upgrade to the Pro 3, it's not a case of, oh, you're just wasting money. You keep upgrading. Someone gets it. So I've asked my daughter, would you want my Pro 2s? You obviously clean them and everything, but they're still valuable enough, and they're still great. She's like, yeah. So then from my point of view, an upgrade isn't just about me. It's like they gain, I gain. We all keep, increasing with that. So really what I want to do is just show where my money was going to a degree on some things, and then maybe it'll put perspective on some of the things I've got, and you will see that it's not actually as reckless as perhaps it's perceived. Now, of course, if you remove those things entirely, saving is saving, and you can put it towards other things. But again, we talk about the financial side of that. It's not always as viable. So we'll start off with what I was paying, because I think it's a good start. I think if we can get to there, we can get to understand a little bit more about the prices of things. So I had a Virgin TV package, and that included a 1 gigabyte broadband. Actually, I think it was slightly less than that, but around about 800 meg to 1 gigabyte download broadband. The upload speed was only capped at about 100 megabytes. So when I want to put a video on YouTube, for instance, it's taken me longer than a previous internet I had because it's only using 100 megabyte upload. That's fine if you just leave it, but it's frustrating when it might take me 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know. It depends how big the file is, but it could take a while. Whereas usually it takes me like 4 minutes or a couple of minutes. It's crazy. So they were the margins. But it won't because of that. But anyway, that was costing, like it says there, £85 a month. And I had other features included though. So I had a multi-room, which comes at an extra cost. I upgraded to sports. So effectively, I was paying a lot for faster, decent internet and a TV package, which, if I'm watching sports, I like sports, but it's a distraction. And I like sports as much as I like gaming. Well, probably like gaming more. But either way, we sometimes miss something. And I'm now deciding I'm not going to be that heavy in sports anymore. I don't see it, the point. It's just too much of a price to pay. for something that's just slightly distracting, and I can watch highlights and other things. I don't really care. Like, it's not. I'm not that into it as much as I was in the past. You know, part of the problem with that is in the UK. So effectively, I was paying £105 all in with all the stuff I had with Virgin Media, and I had to pay £15 a month extra for TV license in the UK. It's a joke. Like, not being funny. Once it got to £120, I'm thinking this is £120 for me to have internet and watch some sport. Obviously, I had other things like the movie channel. I wasn't watching that. I've got my own movie collection. They had all the TV channels. I weren't watching the TV channels. I was just watching the sport. And now some people will come up with alternatives like Now TV and things like that, where you pay as you go with the sport. But then you've got to pay. Even that don't come in HD. You have to pay all these little extras, and it's all crap. And then it's all like a pain in the arse to navigate. It's not like an actual box, you know, like something more permanent. It's a streaming box. It's a fiddly. It's crap. It just is. I can't handle that crap. Either way, you start adding the prices up. So I was getting a bit demoralised of it, thinking I'm paying a lot of money here just for something I'm getting fed up paying for. To be told, I'm not that excited about it, and it's a lot of money every time, you know. And then I had to get a SIM. I got a SIM only contract. So I'm trying to rebuild my credit a bit anyway. So I thought I'd do it as a contract because it'll open up the chance for me to get a phone in the future. Because I think they said that after about 3 months or so, as long as you're making the payments, you could then upgrade to a phone. And I was thinking, right. So if I wait until the 17 comes out, I can probably grab that rather than jump at the earliest convenience and get a 16 because it's only a couple of months difference. That was the plan all along. So we're doing £120 for the TV, broadband, and TV license. I was paying £20 a month for 125 gigabyte SIM for my mobile phone, your cell phone. So I've got a little graphic here I'm going to show in a moment just to put it all into perspective. Obviously, costs amount. All I've got here is a SIM card with data for an existing phone, which I like. I've got a 14 Pro, and I've since upgraded that. But you're going to see the numbers, and you're going to think, like, you might think it's stupid. I think it's perfect. To be totally honest, I'm going to show it. It's not mitigating things. So I recently went with. I got some items through Raylo. Raylo is a leasing company, but they're actually an official retailer for PlayStation. If you go on PlayStation's official website, PlayStation Direct, whatever it's called, you actually go on their website and they'll literally link straight to Raylo if you want to lease a PlayStation. It just makes it affordable. Now, if you can get it financed somewhere else, great. But the thing is, some of them are going to add interest anyway. So effectively, at the end of these lease periods with Raylo, I could be a salesman, couldn't I? I've always said that I will never endorse something I don't have or don't believe in. There are costs amounts to this. I'm not stupid, you know, and I think it's just go into it knowing that. Some people are naive. They think with this, the payments you make do not contribute to the cost you pay at the end. And I know that going in, but I know also that the value of something diminishes over time. So their valuation now will be obviously different later, but how much difference, who knows? But you know that going in. Some people are naive. They think the more you make the payments, it knocks off the value. Okay, it doesn't, so forget that. So you've got to ask yourself, are you comfortable paying that to have that each month? And then at the end of your cycle, whatever it is, you might do a monthly rolling contract. You might do 12-month. You might do 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Each of those years, different prices. So the shorter the term, the higher the value, higher the cost. So you might think, I can't afford that a month. Okay, we just do it over a longer period. Then just get your calculator out, because I'm not an idiot. I do that too. I'll do it. So if it's 12 months, I'm like, that money times 12, how much is that a year? Then I think, what's the value of the item at the end of it? How much will I have to pay at the end if I want to keep it? And then I add it up and I go, wow, it's never favourable, but you think, can I make peace with that? What we're finding in the game console industry is prices of the consoles are not actually going down. The existing consoles keep going up. So previously, they used to go down over time, so people would wait. Now, because of the cost of technology and the chips and everything that's, and tariffs in America and all sorts of stuff, the economy is crazy. So what's happening is the existing consoles are actually keep going up in price. I think I've just seen a video and I haven't watched it yet, but apparently the Microsoft are increasing theirs yet again. And it's like, that's getting a bit mental. So it's not always waiting is going to be beneficial. So like I say, you have to do the maths. You might say that's higher per month for 12 months. I times that, and then I'll do the 12-month one where it's cheaper, but obviously longer term. What's the price difference? Sometimes it's really close. You think that's crazy. I might as well just do the 12. I might as well just do the longer one and pay less over that at the moment, make it easier. But if it's a substantial difference, you're thinking I'd rather pay less now because How do you see your finances improving in the future? That's the thing. Do you see it improving in a year? Do you see it improving in 2 years? Now, be smart with it. So my attitude is, okay, finances are tight now. I can't just go out and buy these things. That's frustrating because I'd love to just do that. It'd be simpler. What a simpler life. Do I think my finances will be improved in a year? Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I'll be anything like what I'm doing right now. So fine. We'll make that payment now. You have it now. I get to enjoy myself. You could argue, wait, because some people would say, just wait for things, wait for things. It's like, that's great for you. That's great if that's what you want to do. But I would rather enjoy now. Thank you. Again, work out the costs. I'm going to show the items I got because I think it's going to help. I just want to show people really the alternatives. But bear in mind, I've just discussed how much it's costing me for that. Forget that. I've got rid of it. And now I've got some tech. And you can see the tech I've got here. Now, you can even see the prices I'm paying. You can argue that's a bit mental. So most of these are 2 years. So it's over 24 months. You can do the maths yourself if you want to sit there and work it out. And it ain't ideal. But I get it now and I get to enjoy it. And I'm thinking to myself, each of those items, for instance, and I know you could call it a trick of the mind, but it's not. It's like I said at the start, people will spend money on whatever they want. So you could argue every single one of them items, about £20 each. Let's say £20 average. You go, oh, that's ridiculous. Why would you pay that? Well, someone might be going, oh, I can't be asked to cook today. Let's go and get a McDonald's. It's the same as that. So ask yourself, would you rather have a McDonald's today? And I know this is what it might look like you're being you're tricking the mind. It's not. It's literally just being honest with yourself. Literally, this is literally what it is. So I know someone might, if you compare it to the overall costs at the end to keep it, yeah, it's a lot. But I personally, by the time I finish making all the monthly payments and I'm in a better financial situation, I then have a choice to make. I can return the item at the end. You could say, oh, that's a waste of money. You just spent all that. I've enjoyed it for the period. So the PlayStation, I'd have had it for 2 years. It's fine. If I don't want to play it anymore, you can have it back. I might not want to invest any more money into it. I could keep making the payments, which would be stupid, or you can upgrade it. So let's say the next PlayStation comes out, PlayStation 6. I could just return that and do a new plan on a PlayStation 6. It'd be just like, I was really getting used to paying it anyway. So there's still things here. And of course, or I can buy it. But the point there in my mind is, each one of the, most people, if you have McDonald's, for instance, you can have more than 4 a month. It's just the way people are. You get addicted. I'm not saying you can't have a McDonald's, but I'd put it in perspective here. So let's say you can have a PlayStation 5. You can enjoy it all month. Or you can have McDonald's today. And you'll be finished in 15, 20 minutes. I'd rather have a PlayStation. You say to me, do you want to switch too? Nah, I'd rather have McDonald's. So, yeah, you do you. You do you. Because once that's eaten, you're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to feel a bit rough. And you're going to think, oh, didn't really enjoy that. Or you could have a switch too for the month. Get choices. Legion Go S, probably my favourite item of the lot, even though I love the PlayStation 5. Legion Go S is a handheld gaming PC, literally, and I've done videos on it where you can put emulators on there, you can put PlayStation Plus, so you can stream PlayStation games, you can do Game Pass, you can do GeForce Now, so you can stream PC games that are like really high-end PC gaming setup. You can remote play from an existing PC, or portably around your home or wherever you want to go. That thing's incredible. All of these are the similar prices to each other, So it's literally pushed a Switch 2 out because I prefer that, but still use the Switch 2 for certain games. And of course, more games come out, I can enjoy it. So I recently ordered a PlayStation VR 2. I'm on the fence. Do I need it? Do I want it? I'd rather have a Meta Quest 3 because of the portability. I think it's probably got more games. I know the PlayStation 1 is getting a bit discontinued at this point, not a lot of investment. But you can now, with an adapter, it costs £50 for the adapter, attach it to your PC. Now, I had a Meta Quest 2 in the past. I loved it, but it was dated with the graphics and all sorts. So I got rid of it for about £200, I think, a year or so ago. Or it might have been 2 years. I can't remember now. But I knew I'd want to get another one, but I got rid of it because technology keeps evolving. I'd rather have the latest, or at least within reason. So, again, with that one, that was more of a fad. I know I'm not going to use it all the time, but for the price, yeah, I think we can see where we're at. And in 2 years' time, I'll either return it, or I'll keep it. I will see. But I've worked the dates out, if you like. Like for instance, most of them are 2 years. So I think my finances should be incredibly better by 2 years. I've no doubt. I'm confident in myself. Again, if not, you just return them all. If you can't afford it, just keep making the payments like you've done, or just return the damn things. But at least I've had fun for 2 years. I mean, it's not. I know it looks like you're twisted your mind. It's not. I'm aware of it. So this is what I'm going to say. This is costing about £80 a month. You go, bloody hell, £80 a month. But what the alternative? Look at all the subscriptions you sign up for. They all mount up. Look at the McDonald's you have a month. It's not that much. When you break it down in life, it's not that much. Look, it seems a lot, but I don't think it is. Um, all of these, of course, will come with a cost at the end. So I always think worst case scenario. So then I'm not that surprised in a bad way. I can be pleasantly surprised. So let's say Switch 2. I don't see the Switch 2 dropping in value too much. In its first year, I think there's still a demand for it. I don't know what they're going to charge me. I'm going to just go out on a limb and just say full value, just for the sake of it. Let's just say they charge me £400. You go, bloody hell. That's not fair. It's refurbished. At this point, it's used. I got it brand new. So it was sealed. It was brand new. In fact, I've got some boxes here. I just wanted to show, really. Oh, crap. Just to show it. Let's just show it as we go, because I think it'll put it in perspective, make it a bit more real. So, Switch 2. Yeah, we got that. In fact, you got the little logo somewhere. Raylo. It's all printed on there. Yeah, a little sticker. But anyway, brand new Switch 2, yeah? In, let's say, a year, because I've done that one over 12 months. The others are 2 years. But again, I didn't want things overlapping. If I make them all finish on the same day, how the hell am I going to pay for them all? You've got to be logical. So by then, my rough estimate, I'm not going to do total maths here, 220, I think it's about £240 perhaps I've spent. And you go, oh, that's stupid if you're going to pay on top. So yeah, okay, let's say they charge me £400 at the end. I'm not going to think about all the 20. Other people might do. You might go, oh, total cost. I'm not thinking like that. I'll just be thinking in a year's time, come next August, I think it was August I got it. Come next August, I have to, as long as I've got about £400, which I would assume I would think I'm doing all right, I should have £400. I'll just buy it off them. I'll just make the final payment. I'll pay £400. I now own it. Total cost £620 for saying it costs £400. I know you'd think it's stupid, but I've had it all year and I got something that it was hard for me to attain. Fine. That then goes, now we're down to £60 a month in payments. We've paid for the Switch 2. And the PlayStation 5 would be the next one. So I think about 8 months later, that would come about April the following year. And then what are they going to say the price of that is? £350? I don't know. It might be even more, might be less. I mean, I'm going to obviously go by what they value it at and say, is it fair? And again, we'll make the payment. That's done. Now we're down to £40 a month. So every time one of these gets paid off, of course, you know, your costs are coming down. It's not like this isn't forever. So there's 18 months left of my PlayStation 5. There's a year left of the Switch 2, and these two are brand new. So that's what I'm saying. The PlayStation VR 2, I'm thinking, oh. But the thing about these items is you've got to think about over the value at the end. You know, I was looking at a PlayStation 5 Pro, but I couldn't get the finance at the beginning. So once I made about 5 payments on the PlayStation 5, all of a sudden my limit went up. I could get some more bits. And it seemed impossible before. I thought I was just lucky to get the PlayStation 5. So they opened it up, and all of a sudden I could get the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I thought, oh, it's only about £6 a month more than the bloody PlayStation 5, but I couldn't do it back then. I can't return it now. I'm under the contract. And of course, if I was to get that on top, I'm not paying £50 on PlayStation 5. Do you know what I mean? So you're trying to work it out. It depends on your credit. You might get a good deal. But remember, at the end, you have to pay for these things if you want to keep it. So PlayStation 5 Pro at the end, you're going to need a lot more money at the end of your contract to afford that item because it's heavy. It's a high-valued item. Whereas a PlayStation 5 normal edition isn't going to cost a lot at the end. And from my understanding, if it came bundled with a game, they're not adding price at the end because you've got a game. They just take that off. It's like you've got the game, you've already paid for that. It's the extra cost and things. But so yeah, if we're going through these, I understand the cost of them. The Legion Go, for instance, right now is about £600. I'm paying a lot for that overall, and I know that going in. But to be honest, I love it that much that I don't want to return it. For me, the £20 a month is a bargain. I'm happy with that, and I'll just pay whatever at the end, or I'll return it because handhelds are going up, like they keep advancing. So I may at the end of this return it and then just buy a brand new model that's really fast. We'll see. It depends again, it's all going to come down to what they charge. If they make silly values, I'll just buy it. I'll just go on my own little thing and either buy something more recent, modern, or buy it somewhere else. We'll see. But in the time period that we're talking about, I think personally, £80 compared to what Virgin Media were doing, I think it's good because I've got internet for £25 a month, and that's 1 gig upload download. So it's faster than Virgin Media overall, all round. And that's only £25 a month, which you put that on top of this lot. Now we're at 105. Is it 105? 80, 105? Yeah. Okay, so we're exactly the same as the Virgin Media bundle before the TV license gets added on. So for internet, sports, movies and TV channels, comparable, exactly the same price of all that crap. I have the same. I have faster internet. I have PlayStation 5. I have a Switch 2. I have a handheld PC gaming device and VR for the PlayStation 5. I have all that for the price of freaking sports movies and shit for that. Like, and you think that ain't gonna? That was only going to be for like I think the contract's 18 months or something on the TV, and then they whack the price up like crazy. It almost like doubles, and then you have to call them. So you get 1 month of crap where it's really expensive. Then you call them, and you have to negotiate the price down again. So it's not like in a year's time it's going to be cheaper. It always goes up in price. So that TV package is always a nightmare to keep it going, you know, and you get caught up in it. These are not forever pricing. You know, I'll pay them off at the end of the cycles and things. You know, I'll either return them, keep them. Switch 2, I'm definitely keeping. I'm going to just make sure I've got the £400 at the end of this. And if they say it's less, great. You know, I think it'll be 400, so let's just go with that. Legion Go S, I think in 2 years' time, it'll probably be about, I'm guessing 500, 450, and that's when I've got to decide. Because by then, you're not going to think, oh, I've spent all this money. I know overall you'd say it's £1,000 potentially for a £600 device, and I get that. That's stupid. Overall, but it's for 2 years. It's easy payments, 20 something. It's fine. If at the end of it is £400, I'm not going to go, or if I pay 400, it's cost me £1,000 overall, am I? I'm just going to look and go, do I think this is worth £400 today? I don't thought so, probably, yeah. Because I can just use it as an emulation device if things advance better. It saves me storage on another device. It's got a terabyte of storage. And the same with the PlayStation VR. It depends where the technologies move forward. But by then, there's PlayStation 5 games. I can hook it to my PC. Who knows? Anyway, I don't want to go too mad with this. I just want to show the comparisons. Then I recently upgraded my phone situation from a SIM-only deal, which was 125 gigabyte data, SIM-only. That was it. £20 a month. And I've just got... Because I was thinking about it. I thought, you're paying for stuff, and you've only... It's nothing new with it. I didn't really need the phone upgrade, to be totally honest. But I thought, you know what? It helps build my relationship with the phone company anyway. Yeah. So I've gone from £20 a month to £65 a month. And again, you could say, oh, what's the point? But then I feel a bit resentful, to be totally honest, just to pay for a data plan with nothing new. It's a bit like, why am I hemorrhaging? Why am I paying for this crap? You know, I know, but it's like a psychological thing there. And that's a 3-year contract. I'm not someone that changes every year. So I'm coming from a 14 Pro. So now I've got the 16 Pro, which is here. 16 Pro. And this is the old... I'll take it off, actually. I've got a case around it. So the problem is the cases, they make you... They lose the premium feel of it. My one's in mint condition, my 14 Pro. So it's 125 gigabyte 14 Pro. It's really nice. I actually think it looks nicer than the other one, to be honest. The feel of it feels really, really nice. Yeah, anyway. So there's the 14 Pro and the 16 Pro. One's got 125 gig, the other one's got 256 gig. Or something like that. And then we got obviously more features and all sorts. And I've noticed the Bluetooth's actually faster on this one. It got a longer reach, whereas the other one used to cut out if I walked around the house. I've got a certain distance. I go, oh crap, where's the phone? Now I'm just like walking around. I go, wait a minute, where's the phone? Because it's going further, so it's cool. So yeah, so that's costed 65 compared to the 20 I was paying for just the thing. And I'm thinking, to be honest, it's not a massive jump. It's not a massive gap, is it? So the good thing about the phone is it's interest free. You're not paying any more for it over time, but it's for 3 years. So in 3 years' time, it's paid off. And you'd be in a similar situation. Do I just want to pay for the data, or do I want to upgrade? I think at that point is when it's probably worth just doing the upgrades, isn't it? I think personally, depends where the phones are at. You could argue I didn't really need to, but then you do start falling behind in terms of technology. So where does that leave us? And again, this isn't me. So if anyone thinks I look wealthy, I really ain't. I mean, I do push my limits a little bit, but I'm always like positive about the future. So there is a naivety in it, but I just recognise that, you know, by the time when your finances are improving, it's not a big deal. It's like if you can sort of just about manage in your lowest, think about how better it'll be when you're not in your lowest. That's what I'm thinking. So let's do some maths. This is a mess, isn't it? I've had to write this with a freaking hand writing with a mouse. Like absolute did my head in. Like that was not easy. I was like, crap, I need an iPad. Yeah, it was hard work. But anyway, put in perspective here, we've got Virgin Media, £105 plus £15 equal for the TV license, £120 total. Then we had an O2 SIM with 125 gig data for £20 a month. So per month, it was £140 for TV license, and a SIM card. So you didn't get a phone with it. You just got your existing phone, which is it's fine. I didn't really need to upgrade. But either way, £140. That's all you got. TV, broadband, SIM card for your phone. So you've got data, calls, and all that shit. Now, we've got rid of all that, and we've got these items. I think 4 quality items that are going to last me the 2 years for sure. The PlayStation 5's definitely. Now, I've had these. I've had a PlayStation 5 in the past. Wish I didn't sell it. Put myself in a bit of a shitty situation where I'm in this situation. But I've got a gaming PC set up. But I want to sit in the sofa. I like PlayStation 5. I have games there. So there's reasons for it all. And it's like, I'm not going to be bored, am I? Do you know what I mean? You can get bored without, when the sport's not on, you get bored. Your attention wanes. It's like, this is crap. I'm paying all this money for what? You know? And then you've got to be there at a certain time. I don't like all that. So let's do this. So we've got these 4 items instead of TV, right? So that's the Raylo side. Then we've got 1 gigabyte broadband, which is faster than the previous broadband. This is lightning. It's crazy. I don't wait around for nothing. Then we've got a brand new iPhone 17 Pro. 125 gigabyte, unlimited data. I don't have to worry. You make the payment, it's all done. You don't never worry about data or anything. And like with some companies, you have to pay extra to take your phone abroad and use data there. This is all included. It's literally 25 gig of data you can use abroad. I think it's per month as well. So if you're on holiday, you're not going to use 25 gig. I'm not going to use unlimited. I barely even use it, but it's like it's there, and you never have to worry if you do. So it's literally pay once, don't worry. So what's the total costs here? The Virgin Media, the SIM only, and the TV license, £140 a month. All those gadgets, including my phone, including the unlimited data and the internet, £170 a month. So overall, £30 a month more. You know what? I've made it clear what I think's the best deal. I want the phone, and I'll have the gadgets rather than this crap, and a SIM only deal. That's what I would rather have. So that's what I've got. So that's really where I come from. And then, like I said, that £30 extra, you think, well, you are paying £30 more. But again, that's like McDonald's. That's like 2 days of McDonald's deliveries. Or Chinese. That's the difference. Again, these little things, and this is how my mind works. It's like, it's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, it's not like you can never have a McDonald's, but it's just putting it into that perspective. Too many people are just like, they're self-defeating. It's too much. Look at your lifestyle. Now, again, I say, someone else is more financially stable. Maybe they've got improved finances. You don't have to do any finance. That's great. If you could just go out and buy them things, that solves you a huge problem, doesn't it? Or if you've got better finance options elsewhere where you just pay the similar price to I'm paying, and maybe at the end of the cycle, you actually own it. Oh, that'd be nice. Now, maybe in the future I'd have those opportunities, but it wasn't when I got the items. So the question is, am I content with what I have? I'm not going to say particularly like overjoyed, because there is a cost attached, isn't there? But realistically, all the items I chose, I understood the overall costs, like compared to what it would have cost if you just bought it. And I get it. But at the same time, I think you can go mental with numbers. You start adding them all together. You think final price, blah, blah, blah. The question to yourself, this is what I ask, this is how I get through it. It's not about how much it's cost you overall. It's like, how much does it cost you like each year to have these things? And if you do the price of these items, for instance, add them up, like you've got, I think it's about £600-700. Realistically, it's about £700 handheld device in the Legion Go. It can obviously drop in different areas, but let's say £700. A Switch 2 is £400. So you've got £1,100 just for a Switch 2 handheld and Legion Go. So you've got £1,100 there. You've got a PlayStation 5, it's about £500. So now it's £1,600. The VR is £400. So now we've got £2,000 worth of stuff just there. And a £1,000 phone. So it's £3,000 worth of gadgets. And let's say over the price of a year, it's going to cost you £1,000 that year. But you've got £3,000 worth of stuff. Okay. Yeah, because you're not paying £1,000 straight up. You're paying it's trickling. It's in bits. It's fine. And yeah, so like when I think about numbers, it's like, yeah, I'm happy enough with this. And I understand the overall cost is going to be higher, blah, blah, blah. But it is what it is. you know. So like I say, once the Switch 2 gets paid by next summer, the price comes down anyway. It's £20 off. It's not like I need to keep adding items. I could, because you start making the payments, they offer you more items. But I can't see anywhere where I want to upgrade now. I'm not paying for another PlayStation 5 just to have a Pro. I would have had the Pro instead if the option was available, but it weren't, so we'll keep the PlayStation 5. The items could be upgraded at the end of the cycle, but then I think by then, to be honest, I would expect my finance to be improved where I wouldn't need the service. But I think for those who do, it's there, isn't it? And I think personally it works. So what I was going to do just briefly is show some of the items a little bit just to put it in perspective. So they've got all sorts. You've got phones. Now again, if you can't get a phone contract somewhere like O2 and things, because I couldn't before. Let's say you can't, because that is interest free. It's the best way you can get a phone. See, some people keep buying phones on their own outright and they think they're winning, but this is finance free anyway. And you're going to need to buy data, whatever data plan you want. By the time you do all that, you could have just got it through a phone provider and not lost so much money at once. You're still paying the same overall anyway. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to use a phone with no data. You're going to have to top it up. So I don't understand that. If you can get one through the phone providers, it's the best way anyway. But yeah, if you can't, they also do the phones, but you don't own it. So by the time, it's going to be similar prices per month, really, to what you're paying the other way. But by the end, I own my phone. But then I'm going to upgrade lightly anyway. But then you do end up with a phone left you can sell if you choose to, or a backup phone. So there's always. But with the phones, for instance, you can buy it outright at the end, or you can just upgrade for a new one. So it's not that bad a deal. You could do MacBooks and things. Again, work out the price and the values, tablets, smartwatches, headphones, and all sorts of stuff, right? So let's say you go on consoles. Now, the console prices do tend to go up after you've done it. So like you might click that and think, that's a good deal, right? I've made my choice. And you then click it all. So let's say I'll do Switch 2. Like, I'll tell you what I paid because I've just shown it, actually. Mine's £20.92 for a year per month. And what they're saying here, they've done it there, right? They're saying for a year, oh, they've put the price up. Oh, no, it is what I paid. $20.92. Wait a minute, I just want to check something, because I think they might have put the price up of the Switch too, because I thought the year price was too cheap. Now, I think that's my prices. They might have just put the price down slightly, because it might be that my credit slightly improves, they drop the price slightly. But that's really close to the month rolling contract. Interesting. Huh. That could be a good deal. So effectively, like, you've got to think, when would you, if you was going to buy it outright, when would you think you'd be in a position to do it? That's really the thing. Because these prices are so close together, the 12-month deal just seems it's just a better deal overall in terms of like what you're going to pay. But that monthly one's interesting, because let's say you think in 6 months I'll just buy it. Well, you'd be better off doing that one then. But with a lot of the other items, the price difference is quite a lot between each cycle. So like 12 months, 24 months, or the 36. But I noticed with the Switch 2, the year was a good deal. Because the price, what's the point of saving? What's the point of saving just £2 something, £2.50 or whatever the hell it works out at a month, and then be stuck for another year paying when you can just have it paid off in that year and then make a decision on it. Yeah, but anyway, that's the Switch 2. But again, you do have to, obviously, if you want to keep it, you have to pay the money at the end, or you just keep the cycle going, whatever you choose to do. Let's go back on consoles. Because what it does, like I say, it tends to work out the price. So it gives you a price that everybody gets. Then once it does a credit check, it tends to boost the price a little bit. It might be about £4 more than you thought, and then it make you have to go. So what I would say, if you ever do that, it goes through the checks, and then it says £4 more. Are you okay with this? I would say open another browser window where you've got Raylo open, and then you can check every other item, because now it's calculated every price on the website now at that extra rate, and you can start comparing it and think, is it such a good deal? What else could I have got? Because like you see here, you've got PlayStation digital consoles, which when you look at the price difference between that and the disc model, I would say just get the disc model. You've got the option in the future. You can even have Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray discs. You never know if you're going to want that in the future. The value of it later is going to be worth more. And they don't seem to the disparity is crazy. Pro model would be obviously be the better version. It's going to be incredibly powerful. At the end of the cycle, it's going to cost more though, so you've got to weigh all those up. But if you can get the credit for it, I'd say that'd be a good deal. The Xbox Series X's at the moment are a joke. That's not even far off the Pro model prices when you start going actually through the price lists. The VR on Sony is crazy. Like, I think they've dropped it a little bit because to get the bundle with the game, which is a £60 game, it's very similar in price to the one without it. So I was like, that's just mad. So there's my Lenovo. There's the VR, but the reason it says £13 from £13 is the refurbished model. Then you start going up a little bit more and you get closer to this 15 quid. But even then, 15 compared to 13, and it comes with the game. This white model here doesn't have a disk drive, so it's incredibly underwhelming compared to PlayStation 5. Then the Xbox Series X is similar to the Pro price, which is thick. To be clear, Mario Kart World, when I got my one, I've thrown it over there. When I got my one, it didn't have the Mario Kart World because I weren't paying that. I think it was an extra £6 a month or something, £6-7 a month. And I just thought, no, I'm not paying. I'll just buy the game separately if I want it. That annoys me because buying it from the shop is only £30 more. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, you've got options. I think personally, you've got to just look at weigh things up a little bit. I think the PlayStation Portal, you can buy that used in the market on eBay for about £120 now. It's £200 new. So as tempted as I was by that, when I was clicking the prices, for instance, have we still got the thingy open? Let me do that one, and then let's open up the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is a £400 device. The Portal is a £200 device. Portal is half the price new if you used to buy it. So let's look at the prices for the Switch 2 compared to the Portal. Let's do it over 12 months. That's £11. That's £20. Okay, it's double. If you do it over 24, but 2 years, £8. Yeah. But it is worth twice as much and things. And I'm just looking at it thinking, to be honest, I can't see the point. If it's only £200, I might as well just wait and buy it. Especially when you get on eBay for 120 quid or something. But it's going to come down to personal preference, you know. I would just, instead of having something like that literally needs streaming, it's a streaming device. So you have to stream from the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation Plus, which would then need a subscription if you do PlayStation Plus. Or you can have a brand new Switch 2 that's literally just got released and it does its own stuff and it's the better value, of course. But then I just think if you're into handheld gaming, you've got a bit of know-how. This is the best one. I freaking love it. I wanted the extreme mode. There's one in America. There's an extreme model. In the UK, we haven't got it. And it's really annoying me because I wanted that. It's more power efficient and far more powerful. But we don't have that option, unfortunately. So like I say, I wanted to get it for a year, really, because I would have just bought it outright next year, to be totally honest. If I could have done, I would have done. But I was given the best. When you look at the budget you had at the time, that what they were allowing, I could only get the 24-month or the 36. Again, look at the price difference. £3. Why would I do an extra year if it's only costing £3 a month more? Let's just do 2 years and be done with it. But that's just consoles. Like I said, there's other things. And I've noticed things pop in and out. So let's say someone's returned something. The refurbished is great. I've had an Xbox Series X refurbished, but I returned it because I wasn't comfortable paying so much at the end when you add it all up. If I was to keep the item for something that was refurbished, the Legion Go I have was refurbished too, but I'm so freaking happy with it. And the amount of work I've done to put emulators and stuff on it. And the price difference is just ridiculous on their website. It's like they're about the same price. But for me to return it and go through the whole process just to get another model that's exactly the same because it was in pristine condition, it'll be like not worth my hassle. So I bought this case and it's perfect size. I was going to do a video on it. I'm not sure if I have, but I can't really see. But it fits absolutely perfect inside this. But this is the... So I can just show them quickly. I've got a little startup screen I've made. I downloaded through Steam. Let's see if that comes up. But this is the Lenovo Legion Go S, the one there. It is absolutely mint condition. And it was like that with the Xbox Series X as well. It's because it's coming from absolute startup, this thing. It's not coming from sleep mode. Oh, I've done Last of Us. So there's all sorts of startups I've done. But yeah, and then it'll launch into it. And now we've all of a sudden got every sort of device I want for that. That's incredible. For me, this is the best item I have. even surpassing the PS5. To be totally honest, if I think about it deep enough. So anyway, so then like I say we're looking at the items. PS5 Astrobot Edition. It was the better value. Like that one there. And then the Legion Go. So as you can see, it's got Raylo written on it. Legion Go, Legion Go. We got it. And then this is the. I haven't got the VR. It's supposed to come today. Literally, I've got a terrible sleep pattern, so I tried waiting for it, and then it said it was coming Monday. So I was like, "Oh, sod this shit! I'm not staying awake. I need to sleep because my sleep pattern's outrageous." And then I missed it by like 2 minutes. It literally still came in the morning, but I missed it by 2 minutes, and that threw me into a pissed off state. To be honest, I struggle with things like that. If it's that close, I get really really annoyed. Like, why? Jesus Christ, just knock louder or something. You know what I mean? It's just annoying. So now I've got to wait till tomorrow. It's only a day, but it's still annoying. And then the Switch 2. Now, obviously, my lighting and things that I've got going, it looks worse than it is, but it's incredible. Look. But be honest, I'm not really using it a lot because the other handheld. So I got this first, well, PS5 first. Then they allowed me more allowance. So I thought, you know what, I wanted to Switch at launch, even though I know the games are dear, but I've got a lot of first party games anyway. I've got a lot of games that I own on the store. So I thought, you pay it and I can access it on the telly and things because I've had the smaller ones as well, the lights in the past, to play this original Switch Lite. But yeah, so I've got them, and then I just thought about VR, and I just thought, to be honest, that's the only thing really missing from my setup. I missed my VR, and like I said, I only sold the Quest 2 because they, at that point, I think the Apple one had just come out, and I thought that's outrageous. I'm not paying over £1,000 for VR, but I just saw where it was going with the fidelity. At that point, I think PlayStation VR 2 was out, and I thought, oh, that looks great with the racing and everything. And then the Meta Quest 3 fighter was out as well, and I just thought, well, we're a generation behind, and it's a bit. Although the games are good, the fidelity's not there. So that's the only reason I sold it. But it was reluctant because my daughter likes it, and I was using it quite often. I had a fishing game. I like sitting on the sofa just fishing with the VR. So yeah, again, I've got games on my PC as well. So it's not just for the PlayStation. So even if PlayStation discontinue it, they don't make any more games. The service kind of depletes. You've still got a PC variant, But anyway, that's the alternative to all of this. Is this, in my eyes, because that's literally what I cancelled and then decided to invest in that direction. And like I said, I'm not a freaking finance guru. There's going to be people to say it's absolutely reckless. Why not just buy one at a time when you can afford it? You can do, but I'd rather just have it all now. Thank you very much. And the reality is, if I make the payments on time, it's only going to help increase my credit limit, my credit rating, which is something I've been seeking to improve anyway. So although someone might look down at credit, credit is actually beneficial if you make the payments. In the same way, I make all the payments on my phone, I'll have no trouble getting another one next time. And I might even be able to upgrade sooner. Like, for instance, if my daughter wants a phone, my credit will be enough that I can say, I can get you one now. Within reason of my finances, of course. But it's nice to have the options. Or was that one? Oh, yeah. Anyway, getting lost. But in your hands, I actually really like the 14 Pro, but I normally have a case. And the case ruin your phones. Like, the whole feel of this phone feels far superior than when I had a bloody case on it. So I'm really getting reluctant to put a case on them now. I know it protects them, but it does ruin the feel of it. But that's premium device that for 2 years, the screen's felt nice, but it's never felt premium because it's bloody rubber shit. I don't like cases anymore. Yeah, I'm really annoyed. But they do get slippery, and you do think I could drop that. I can't really say, can you? The angles are terrible. The angles on lighting are a freaking nightmare. But yeah, anyway. Like I say, I've got all the boxes to show that I have the items. These are just calculated decisions. So if anyone is interested in going down this path, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying what I've done. You can cancel items, of course. You've got 14 days, or you can cancel it even after you've ordered it. I've done that a couple of times. So I've just thought about it deep enough and go, nah, don't do it. So we've got inactives free. Or, you do it with an understanding of total costs. Yeah. But it's like what it means to an individual. Do you know what I mean? Like, so people could go mental about like mobile phone contracts, but the reality is you're likely to buy in 3 years' time when the contract's finished. It's more than likely. If you was buying phones outright, it's not cost any more for the phone. It's just cost you but then it's unlimited data and everything. I've got data abroad. I don't think about it. So if you do SIM only, it's still going to be similar. Like, they did a deal at launch. I didn't realize that the unlimited bundles are really good at launch with the phones. So if I was doing that phone in maybe a couple of months, it's probably going to, instead of £65 a month, it'd probably be £75 a month plus because it's got the unlimited data. So that's crazy, isn't it? So let's say you're buying the phone out, right? And then you're probably going to be paying £30, £40 a month for unlimited data SIM anyway. It's the same thing what I'm paying. But you've just lost £1,000 straight up, whereas I'm paying it in bits. So effectively, the phone's costing about £350 a year. £350 that year over the course of your contract-ish, or maybe 400, and maybe 400. It's a £1,200 phone, so 400, and then 400, and then 400. But you'd rather lose £400, £400, than £1,200 today. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a freaking finance guru, if anything, but I've got my bases covered. You know, I'm all right. I'm happy with what I've chose. And the alternative to it, like I said, is just a service. That's the alternative, though, isn't it? It's like instead of having nice items, the alternative is literally just a service. And I'm sick and tired of it. Like the sports are starting to bore me anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? So I just feel like I'm mindlessly sitting in front of the telly, not even interacting, just like. And then when there's no sport, it's like, oh, what am I doing? Now I'm just chilling out. I'll be in the VR mode fishing and doing all other mindless crap. But the good thing is, of course, building the credit as well. So anyway, like I say, I think the misconception there, if someone saw you had gadgets and you had decent things, they might naturally think you must be wealthy to have those. It's not. No, they've just worked out how much it's going to cost per year. You know, when that one gets paid off. So like I said, the Switch 2 gets paid off in a year. You make the payments, and then in a year I buy it off them for like £400. Let's say that. And then all of a sudden, the £80 a month is now £60 a month, and that'll feel lighter as well. Of course, you've made a lump sum at the end, but that does that. And then maybe 7-8 months later, I've got a decision to make with the PlayStation 5. Do I buy it? Do I keep it? You know, what are the options? And then when that's paid off, all of a sudden, it's down from, so you've gone from £80 a month to £60 a month to now we're down to £40 a month. And then they're all just getting paid as they go, you know? So in 2 years' time, I'm only paying for the phone. And then there'll be a point where the phone's paid off and you're only paying for the SIM card unless you want a new phone. So I don't think it's that bad, personally, but that's just me. And like I said, the alternative, because even me, I'm thinking, now you've got enough items, but I could do with that though. No, it's too much. You're paying too much a month. So I just thought, well, what's the alternative? A McDonald's. And then when I put it in perspective like that, I thought, yeah. So effectively, if I can't afford McDonald's one month, let's say you're balancing your finances and you go, oh, God, so I fancy McDonald's. But if I fancy McDonald's and get annoyed that I can't have a McDonald's, for instance, and then I think about the things I have, I'm not going to go, oh yeah, I'd rather have McDonald's. I don't think that'll ever cross my mind. I'd rather have McDonald's. I don't think so. Even if I'm slightly getting fed up with having things like the items, I still could never ever say a McDonald's is worth that. No. But of course, once they're paid and you've got spare money, if you've got enough to have McDonald's, you can have those McDonald's. But I'm saying if there's a specific month where it's a bit tighter and the reason I can't have a McDonald's is because I've got something, it's like, no, don't even think that's better. Sod that shit. So if you had a McDonald's a month, so let's say, for instance, you can have a PlayStation 5 for the year, or you can have one McDonald's every month for a year. There's only 12 McDonald's. What would you rather have? PlayStation 5 for a year or a McDonald's a month? It's not the McDonald's. Again, that's how my mind goes. I know people are going to look at it in different angles, but it's up to us to sit in our own little angle. And when you break the numbers down, the numbers don't lie. It's literally costing me for a brand new iPhone 17 Pro. The only one better than that in the Apple models is the Pro Max, which I was debating myself, but I think it'd be too big. I don't want something uncomfortable in my hands. Be good for TV. I'd probably watch more streaming apps, to be honest, if I had a bigger phone. But I don't really need a tablet in my pocket. And then the extra cost for that was another £8 a month or so, and I just thought, this is just getting stupid. So for the price to go Pro Max, you could put more storage in your phone. You could have the 500 gig model, I think it is, 512. But then I was like, I'm already going from 125 to 256. It's already copied everything from my phone. It's copied everything from my 14 Pro to the 17 Pro, and I've still got 170 gig spare. Whereas this had like, I don't remember, like 20 gigs spare or something. I can't remember the numbers. But anyway, yes, it's mad. But look, the numbers don't lie there. It's literally what I've done is just costing me an extra £30 a month for what my previous obligations were. Now, you could argue that you could just make the saving and you don't pay any of that. And you've just saved yourself most of it. But even if I weren't paying 170, for instance, I would still be paying 45. I think if you do the numbers here, looking at it, because you need the internet for 25, you're definitely going to need a SIM card for your phone, so 45. So okay, let's say you didn't do any of it. You could get away with getting rid of all the TV and that, and then just drop it all down to £45 a month for a mobile SIM, which would have kept this one fine, which is a nice phone anyway, and you'd have had the internet. It's £45. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That's the minimum it could have been. But I think having a few nice things for a bit more money, I think it's a nice feeling. Yeah, it's a nice feeling throughout the year and in the next couple of years. Because it's not like any technology is changing. The PlayStation 5 isn't good. You ain't going to get a PlayStation 7 till 2027 at the earliest, realistically, at this point. Late 2027. Games never launch on the damn things when they come out. It's usually a year or so, a bit like my Switch now, the Switch 2, really. But it was nice to have that. Plus, it gave me access to previous games, whereas I've already got PS5 now. So if a PlayStation 7 come out, don't even need that until 2028 earliest. You don't need it launch day. Every console I've had at launch has been disappointing after a month. So I'm not an idiot. So I'm not that excited to jump onto shit anymore. Plus, I'm more PC gaming anyway, so I'm happy with the PlayStation 5. So if we're going, let's say you say PlayStation 6 in 2028. My one's paid off in 2027, I think it said. Account. Oh, I can't see it here. 25, 27. Yeah. So spring 27, the PlayStation 5 would be finished. And then it's like whether I keep it or not. Whether they announce a PlayStation 7 round then, I don't know. They might announce it after that. So I might even pay for the PlayStation 5 and then they announce a PlayStation 7. But I think that'll be about £700 console, £800 console, because technology is going mental. It's just the price of parts, and the technology is advancing, so the more powerful, the more expensive. It's just natural. So yeah, I think that's going to be an expensive console anyway. So if they say a PlayStation 5, you owe us £400 to keep it if you want to keep it, and I say I'm going to wait for the PlayStation 6, I keep saying 7, and that comes out like £700-800. Well, I'd have been better off with the £400 for the PlayStation 5 for now, because the PlayStation 6 isn't going to be worth having for a year later at least, or a bit longer. You're better off waiting for a bit in the cycles now, to be totally honest. I would get caught up in fads. So, yeah, by the time these are paid off, it'd be fine. Like Switch 2 is going to be around for the next 7-8 years, one would assume now. I can't see that varying. The only thing you're going to get now next is an OLED screen, and I'm more than happy with the one I got. And when it's docked, you don't need a screen. So I can't see a world in which I'd need a new Switch 2 at any point. So the Switch 2 will now, I've got it early, like in August, when it only released in June or May. And yeah, so you pay for that next year. It'll last 7 years. There's no reason it won't. So, like I say, it's not like once these are done, you've got to worry about new technology. The latest technology beyond this is 2028, and all of it will be paid off by the 2027. So, anyway, that's my point, really. It's like you could say, wait, something better might come out. It's really not. The Legion Go S, yeah, there might be a new one, but you keep waiting, you never have anything. That's the only one. Out of all these items, no, I'd say I'm going to keep the PlayStation 5 and I'm going to keep the Switch 2. So at the end of those cycles, I'll be buying them. I'm guessing roughly about £400 each-ish. Because my finances would be better by then. I won't even give a shit. I've got no doubt about that, honestly. I just don't care. I don't think my finances to be anywhere near what it is now, so it wouldn't even be much of a deal to me. It'd be like, just, yeah, it's fine. When you've got not a lot of money, it's like, oh, the VR, I'll question that, whether I want to keep it or not at the end of its cycle. How much did I use it? How much compatibility is it with other devices? How much are the games costing? All those things. How much did I really enjoy it? And then I'll look and compare it to whatever models exist after and how much they're charging. So if we get a Quest, let's say it's a Meta Quest, by then it's 2 years' time. Let's say we're on a Meta Quest 4 or 5. And they're really advanced, it's portable, it's all that, and it's only maybe £100-200 more than what they're going to ask me to keep this. I'd then have a decision to make. That's the variable for me, is that one and the Legion Go S. It's going to depend on the prices they want and what technology exists at the time. as to whether I keep them. But in the interim, am I getting enough value out of them for what it's costing in the interim? Yeah. The handheld I'm enjoying. I'm playing games that I didn't in my game library. I have a lot of games, and when I'm sitting at my desk with my ultra wide monitor, I'm playing more cinematic games, more the AAA games, bigger, more story narrative games. But in handheld mode, I get to play some of the smaller games that I really do like, but I just don't think about playing. And I also can play the bigger games there, so I can pick up and play. I can drop off. I can play some emulators, all sorts of things. So sitting on the sofa, it's not like I'm going to sit there for 5 hours at a time, but I might sit there for an hour just chilling out. But I'll be really, really happy. And then I might sit in bed sometimes and just go, I'm going to play it for a bit. So for me, the value is with the Legion Go in the period, even if I don't keep it at the very end, which I don't know yet. I know for the 2 year period, I'm going to freaking love that shit out of it. Absolutely will love that. And the Switch 2, even if I don't use it a lot in its first year, which is fine, at least I had access to the latest technology and I got to try it. And if the new game comes out and I can afford the game, I can jump on that. So in its first year, for instance, the games I'm interested in is like we've got the Mario Kart I still need to get, the Donkey Kong, which looks cool. The game's a bit dear, but again, we can get them over time. And then the new Metroid game. So that's 3 games anyway, and it's in its first year, so it's fine. And then once I pay for it, it's around for the next 7-8 years. I don't feel compelled that I would need to play it all the time to get the value out of it. I was going to buy it anyway, so rather than pay 400, even if I had the £400 today, rather than spend £400, I'll just pay the 20 quid. I'll buy it in a year when it's even easier to pay for it. You know what I mean? That's the mindset. I'd rather not spend £400 today, to be totally honest, even if I had it. I'm happy to pay 20. I'll pay 400 next year when it's a lot more easier to me to acquire it. Hopefully this all makes a bit of sense. So I thought I'd just show that, really, because I know it can come across that you must be freaking rich to have shit. It's like, really not. Really not. I had to sell a lot of things over the years. You know, when finances get hard and downgrade this, downgrade that. And I just got so fed up going backwards and just losing everything. And like I said, it's all replacing things I had. If we compare these, I had Switches. I've had a Nintendo Switch. I've had about 2 or 3 of them. I've had OLEDs. I've had Switch Lites. They were all underwhelming towards the end of their life. They weren't worth the money. You're paying all this money, and the technology so dated. And it was just, this is terrible. The PlayStation 5 I had in the past. I had a PlayStation 5 and a Series X, but I was like, I got fed up with them. And then later on, I regretted it, but my finances were worse by then. So it's like, oh, you idiot. PlayStation VR 2. I probably wouldn't even bother, although I'm interested in a couple of the games. But I had a Quest 2. But again, I thought it was dated. But if I had these things, maybe I wouldn't be jumping on them now. Okay. And I had the handheld, the Legion Go S. I had the ROG Ally last year, I think it was, or a year or 2 ago. But I couldn't handle it back then. I was too addicted to it. You know, it was literally taking I was like mad. I was too busy with it all the time. Now I'm far more balanced, so I can handle it now. And that's nice. But if you talk about it financial wise, yeah, if I didn't sell them, I wouldn't be in this situation now. But having said that, these are upgrades. The PlayStation 5, perhaps not quite, but it's a slimmer model. I felt the original one was too big anyway. It was bulky. I didn't like it. It's only marginal, but it's still, yeah, I don't care. Honestly, I'm happy with what I've got, and I can't help but compare it to the TV package and, like I said, a takeaway. So I'm more than comfortable, to be totally honest, with it. I'm sure there'll be some months when it gets a bit pressury with all the bills and you're adding it up and you're trying to manage it all. But then I think there'll be times when it's fine. So I'm not an idiot. I get it. I get it. Anyway, hopefully that sort of makes some sense. But anyway, yeah. So where I was talking about the Pro 3, I'm thinking of doing that through my O2. So through O2, if we go on there just quickly, I don't know, shut up, Apple. Oh, it's going to sometimes mess up. Is it going to load? Is it not going to load? It's sometimes easier just to Google it. They've got all sorts of items. Now, your credit has to be good enough. They may decline me. It's like, and if they decline me, I'll just get it later, or I'll just buy them myself. Normally, I buy them outright, but because it's interest free, I'm thinking, why don't we just do this? I can't remember where they are now. So these normally cost about 200 and so, 205, 210, I don't know. They were on here. I might have even gone past it. So they've got iPads and all sorts of shit. Right, wait a minute. I think we have gone past it. Oh, it's loading like a monster. Look, come on, mate. Have I gone past it? I'll have to just type it in a minute. Let's do my head in. Here they are. Let's just do them. Oh, for God's sake. What am I loading? Where's the search bar? Freaking hell. Oh, it's not. Wait a minute. Let's just see if we can get this up. AirPods. It's not even loaded, the bloody AirPods. Why am I not getting them? Just doing my head in. Literally doing my head in. Let me have a look. No. Normally it's got it all loaded up here. You can see them. Yeah, let's have a look. Android phone, tablets, AirPods. Right, Pro 3. That's what we want. Pro 3. Because I've got the AirPod Pro 2. So let's say instead of saying, oh, it's £200, they're interest free anyway. So you're not paying any more than the price of the item anyway. So you can pay in full. It's £220. Or you can spread the cost interest free. So you're never paying more than the price of the item anyway. You're never paying more. So you're £53 up front. And then it's only for 3 years, which is the same length of my phone, it's £4.61. So in my mind, you're already paying 65 for your phone. Why not pay the £53 and then just add that to your phone contract? So instead of £65 a month, just pay the £70 a month, and you've got freaking the AirPod Pros, and you're not paying any more for the item, for the phone or the thing. Or if you want to do it over a year, which I think is probably a better idea just to get it done, maybe do £13 or do over 18 months, do it a year and a half, be done with it at £9. Or just match it with your phone contract, to be totally honest. It might make more sense. You know, I know it's only about 170 quid or probably about £160 more than just, difference between the upfront cost and what's left. And maybe you think just buy the damn things after. If you're paying 53, you might as well pay it all. And there is an argument for that. But then at the same time, you're not really going to notice £4 a month, £4.60 a month, are you? But you'll notice £150 today. So that's where I'm at. And you're not paying any more anyway. So if I'm getting the AirPod Pro 3, it's a good chance I'm just going to do it on my phone contract because it just makes sense. So let's say I apply for it. I'm not doing it now. I've got too many other bills. I've got to manage them all, because of this 53 quid. But if I'm in a situation where I can, and I think, now's a good time to do it, and they decline me, then I'll just wait another few months, maybe give it 3 months or so, and then just see if it's available again. And if it's not available and I really want them, then I'll obviously find a way just to buy them anyway. You can do it through here, but again, because that's interest free and you own it at the end, doesn't make much sense. Because you can do other items through here. If we do headphones, I think it is. They do them here. So if your credit is increased, so mine says no limit because it's got a stupid thing in the basket that I don't want now. Because I was looking at doing the brand new Legion Go, wherever it's gone. I was going to do the brand new Legion Go instead of the refurbished one, even though it's perfect. So I don't see the point. But I was going to change the term from 2 years to a year and just pay it off next year because I think that financially it'd be cheaper, but it would only save me about £160 overall. And it's like, oh, is it worth the hassle? Is it worth the hassle? Might as well you can pay less over the. Yeah. So that's why that issue's come up. That's why I'm getting no lease. But for instance, you could do the 3-year contract just like your phone, and it'll be at £8 a month. But then at the end of it, you either have to return them or buy them, and it's like, with something as small as that, I can't really be bothered, to be totally honest. I think if something's worth less than £200, it's probably better off either doing it through another company, like if you're for your phone bill, or just buy it. It's a bit like where I said about the what was it called? The Portal, where the Portal it's a £200 item anyway. It's not really worth it because you only get with like places like Raylo, you only have a certain amount of they give you. They do a credit search or soft search or whatever it is, and then they establish how much they're going to give you credit to spend through their store. And let's say they give you £30 to spend, and you've got that. It might go up later if you make your payments, but either way, let's say you give you £30 and you go, oh, I might get the Portal. It's only £8 a month, and I might get a Pro. I might get a PlayStation 5 Pro, because that's really cool. And then you get the Portal first. And then by the time that chips off the money, you haven't calculated it properly. All of a sudden, you can't even get a Pro. And the Pro is probably the thing you wanted the most. So get the thing that you want the most that's harder for you to acquire normally. Like a PlayStation 5 Pro costs, I think, £700 item. So it's a lot harder to get a £700 item in the shop like anytime soon than it is a £200 item or one that is potentially £120 on eBay. So it's like, well, figure it out. Which one do you really want that you can't realistically acquire in the next 3 to 6 months? I think if you can get in 6 months something, then it's like you ask yourself, do you want to wait the 6 months, or do you want to just get it now and then just do the 12-month deal like I do? So that's why I'm doing the Switch 2. In the Switch 2, I could have probably just got in like just after Christmas or something, or maybe spring. I don't know. Maybe that's probably when I would have got it, maybe about February or something. And it's kind of like, what's the point? You might as well just do this, have it now, instead of waiting till them times and keep pushing it, and then just buy it in the summer. But anyway, this is there. There is links, so it will be link. I'm not doing that just to be cheeky. It's just that like I said, I'm using it because you can see I'm using it. I didn't just stop at the first item, did I? But there is a limit. This is all I'm getting now. I was thinking of a new MacBook for my daughter, but I'm not probably going to do it. I don't think it's desperate to get that right now, personally, because the cost will be a lot in the end. If you add that, the price you're paying, and then you think about how much it might cost in the end, I'm probably better off just waiting till I buy a one myself. But I'll think about things later. But that's the only way I would really jump in at this point. To get anything else, there's nothing else that would interest me at all. It was only really the MacBooks, but I just think by the time you paid for it, I just think it's a lot of money. Because you've got the different variants. That you've got the M4, so that's the new ones, these M4s. So the M2 is there, the M1, I don't know if they've got an M1. I thought they did have an M1. M4 Air. Where do you see from? That's going to be the 3-year cycle. And the problem is, by the time you've paid them, that is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And then you've got to pay it on top. So you're going to be, effectively, you may be paying double the value of the item. You've got to think that's risky. Oh, here's an M1. So this is the one I've got. Anyway, it's over there. It's the one I actually have. And I do my books and stuff on it, and I like that. And I know it'd be good for it. She's got a MacBook I passed down to her. So when I got this one, I gave her my one. And she's just saying it's a bit slow. So this one would be a good one for her. So let's say I did it over 3 years. Oh, okay, because this is what I look at, the prices, the differences. £8 a lot bigger than 20. So you're going near 30 quid. So it's a big jump, 12 months in a year. You can do some maths. But the 36 months, 3 years and 2 years, is only like £2.30 a month. There's no reason to go, unless your credit's that bad, like your limit isn't, because they won't budge on the limit. Like for you to do that, it'll be grayed out. Anything that's grey, you can't add effectively. So let's say I thought, I might do it, and I could do it for 2 years for 20 quid a month. So then you'd work that out. So of course, £20 a month is 240 a year. So then you're at 480. So in 2 years' time, I've spent £480 on that, and it's like, what are they going to charge me at the end? Because I'm guessing like 600, maybe 500. I don't really know, because the value is going to drop shortly. But it's Apple. So let's say they say it's £500. I've just spent 480. So then we're at £1,000. £1,000 is one of the newer models. So you do have to work it out in your head. But I think at the same time, we can overthink the shit out of it and think that's terrible. But you couldn't afford the expensive one. That's why you're doing it this way. So it's £20 a month manageable. That's what you've got to ask yourself. And yeah, I think personally it is. For me, like knowing that she could use it, she watches movies on it, yeah, it's all right. A brand new one, the price is going to shoot up, I'd have thought. Yeah, look, you've doubled. Price has got mental brand new. So refurbished is fine. They really do give you, the refurbished are like as good as new. I'm not saying do this specifically. I'm just saying if I was going anywhere, this is probably what I'd be going near. Because the M1 I've got is perfectly fine. It's fast enough for everyday things that you're going to want to do. And the reality is, even if you said gaming, you can do the gaming thing I use at GeForce Now. And it literally, I don't think I can get it up there. I can't be bothered, to be honest. But it streams the games. You can do it on your MacBook, your phones, and all sorts of shit. Literally a high-performance game. So you don't even need a powerful laptop, really, unless you're doing video editing and crap. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd show it a little bit. But anyway, like I say, if anyone's interested, just click my link in the description. You go through the description, it's there. There'll be a link, and it's literally a referral. And but it literally says it. We both get £30. So if I click on it and I do referrals here, look, I'll just show you what it says. So you're not, so I'm not scamming anyone. It literally says refer a friend. You'll both earn £30 Amazon gift card. For each friend who becomes a Raylo customer, I'm not doing this for this reason, by the way. I'm just doing it showing what I've got to show the people that I'm not actually rich. Don't assume shit just because I've got some nice things. No, I think me getting things on Raylo has helped build my credit rating up, though. Not solely that, because I've used a couple of things where you do that. What's it called? Buy now, pay later things. I've been doing a few of those where you pay every 2 weeks and things. So that's helped. But I think this really helped when I got the PlayStation, which allowed me then to do the SIM only. I did the SIM only deal as well on my phone, for a few months as well. And I managed to get an iPhone 17 Pro. I would never have been able to get that before. I kid you not. There's no chance in hell. I even thought I was going to get declined while I was applying for it. So all these things do help rebuild your credit as long as you don't miss a payment. The scary thing with this is, and it is the biggest downfall, if you miss a payment, it's a 20, even if you miss it by a day. So I would say you've obviously got your priority bills and this, because otherwise you're going to hemorrhage money like shit. It's crazy. If you miss a payment, even by a day, £29 late fee. And that's per thing. So like mine would get out of control. If all them were late, that would be mad. So I have to make sure they don't get missed. And as long as you make the payments, you're not going to get the late fees, and it's manageable, and your credit rating is going to improve, isn't it? Because you're making those continuous payments. And that's how I've seen it. So by the time all this is paid off, and especially my phone as well, my credit rating should be really, really good, providing it's gone well. Anyway. So I digress a little bit. But anyway, it says, let me move it over a bit so maybe you can see it a little bit better. Refer a friend, you'll both earn £30 of Amazon gift card. For each friend who becomes a Raylo customer using your unique referral link, which is this one, both you and your friend will each receive a £30 Amazon gift card. To refer a friend, simply send them your unique link. So from my point of view, because I'm promoting it, really, because I'm using it, it wasn't for this. I never do anything like that. But it makes no sense for me not to include that when both can gain from it, So if someone thinks, I might be interested in that, and you don't click that link, and you think, even because some people do things to spite people, which is quite mental to me. I never understand that. Maybe they see something you're doing and go, I'm not letting them benefit. Well, then don't. It's like, do what you want. But if you've just found out about it because someone spoke about it, though, do you not think maybe they deserve something for it? I'm not saying people owe me anything, but like I'm talking about like the level of cruelty. What's justifiable in trying to spite someone? So if you go, I'm not bothered with that crap. I'm gonna Google Raylo myself. You can do that, and neither of us will get £30. You can do that if you want to spite people. It's not like I'm sitting here waiting for £30 to come through my door. Like, I don't expect any referrals. But the point is, I think to spite yourself and lose £30 is just dumb. To be honest, because like literally, I don't know when they give you the £30 voucher. I don't know. I've not done it. I didn't get a link. No one recommended Raylo to me. I found out because I was looking for the PlayStation 5 and I heard they were doing leasing, and I was like, oh, whoa. That's how I got the PS5 to start with, And it was literally here. So if you click that and then you get the £30, but the thing is, like I say, if let's say you decide to get a Switch 2, I don't know when you get the voucher, so I can't say specifically it'll be ideal timing. But let's say he's getting a Switch 2. For £30, you can get all this. This costs £10 for this case. It literally come with screen protector. I don't know if the price is still £10. It might be £12.99 now. But this is really, really good. I like it. I had to rip out. There was 2 of these game sections, and I did a video showing it. I actually cut out the bottom one because it was too many, and it stopped this Switch going in there because I also got this grip. So the grip was £16.99, and it allows it to be more comfortable. And that actually fits in the dock. So you don't even have to take it off. You can literally put it in the dock and off. And not a lot of grips you can't. But put it in this case, it would not shut with it. It wouldn't fit. So I had to just get rid of that little set of game cartridge things I didn't need anyway. And I put it on there. And also the case actually comes with these a set of thumb grips. And I think they're more comfortable than the ones without. Like the original ones are too small. This makes it feel nicer. So I've got grip, thumbsticks, screen protector, and this. And I think it's about £25 total. So my point there is, if someone was to get the Switch 2, or even the original Switch, whatever, probably Switch, I'd say Switch 2 more, but I'm sure this would all fit on that anyway. Let's say you got a Switch 2, and you went through my link, and once you finally get your once you finally get your voucher, you could then get all those, and it wouldn't cost you a penny. Where it's cost me £25. So that's what I think. It's good, isn't it? Or if you've got yourself a PS5, you could then treat yourself to a game, I suppose, or something like that. Of course, you can do whatever the hell you want on Amazon. I'm just putting in perspective of things you could have, you know. If you've got the VR, let's say you've got the VR like I chose. I haven't got it yet, but let's say that comes. All of a sudden, you can get yourself maybe, and you did it through the link. Let's say you click my link and you got yourself a VR. Then you can get yourself maybe one of those charging docks for the headset can go on, or the controllers. All little things, isn't it? Legion Go S, same thing. I've got the case. I remember how much I paid. £15 for the case. It's deep. It's very deep. I was hoping the charge would fit, but I'm worried it'll break the screen. I'm not risking it. But I'm happy with the padding and stuff. £15, and it fits absolutely perfect in this case. So I thought I'd done great there, to be totally honest. And it's like, these are the things that I haven't got the screen protector yet, but that would have paid for this and the screen protector. I think I'm not sure what else there is really. Anyway, click the link. Don't click the link. I'm not expecting anything. So to be totally honest, and I wouldn't want someone to get. I'm not encouraging people to do anything that would put you at risk financially. I'm not encouraging any of that crap. It's do the maths. Do the maths like I do the maths. I get my calculator up on my phone. So is this the right phone? I've got two phones. It's weird having two phones now. Like I I'm not selling it cheap. I'm not an idiot. And if people don't want to spend the money, I like how I've done my phone. You can't see it. I digress. I just like chatting. Let me get where the hell's the app? Oh, got apps all over the place. So all I do is literally get my phone out. Of course, you can do it on your computer anyway. Obviously, everyone's seen a calculator, but I just get my phone out. And if I see a deal, I just sit there and go, right. So let's say the PlayStation VR 2. I'm going to show that now. This is not what, like, in terms of value, it's not value. And that's why I'm a little reluctant at the minute. My head's going to explode with it. I want VR. I can't afford it right now. And I'm not even sure I'll keep it at the end of the cycle. So it's a risky one. That's the risky item out of all of them. But at the same time, I'm thinking it fills a void, you know. It does allow me to play the VR on my computer. And if it works out well enough, and it's because it's supposed to be sharp, I'm sure even if the games discontinue on the PS2, like PlayStation 5, the current ones will obviously work. It will still be usable, but that's the only one that's debatable. So we'll do the maths. Look, £17.15. Oh wait, so it's £17.15 times that by it's 2 years. So let's say £24, £400. It's costing freaking £400. It's £400 now. And then at the end of that, you either return it, you've got nothing to show for it, or you buy it. There's no way they're going to charge you £400 at the end of that. Maybe £300. But effectively, £400 now costs £700 total. You feel stupid. Especially you can probably get on eBay for like £300, £250. But I have heard the hand controllers can be, if they break, you can't replace them. You can't buy brand new ones. And that's another risk with that headset, personally. But I would feel more comfortable with a brand new model than spending money on a used one where the hand controllers could likely break sooner. Although, of course, for the price, you could buy a couple of them. Yeah, anyway, I can't afford £400-500 today for it. But £17 I can afford. And yeah, it's going to cost twice as much potentially at the end. Who knows? £300 more. I don't know. It's a risky one, that one. But I'm not as committed to it. So even if I open it up and decide to keep it, it's not that I'm definitely keeping it after the 2 years. I'll just enjoy it for the 2 years. Because if you actually look at some of the things, I know we can see. I'm not trying to go on a tangent. I'm just trying to like talk it through a little bit. We can attach ourselves to things and say, well, if I buy it myself, like let's say it cost me £200 more or £300 more than the average person who just bought it outright. Maybe they can recoup their money, maybe they can't. But a lot of the time, when people go try and sell things, they think, oh, I can sell it after and all this shit. Sometimes they're not worth a lot after. You know, so like for instance, what I'm saying there is, let's say in 2 years' time, I've spent £400 on that bloody VR. You know, it's the only one that's causing me a bit of a headache at the minute, frying my brain. I paid £400, and then let's say someone else has got it, and they decide, you know what, I'll decide I'm not keeping that. I'm just going to send it back. I've just like it's fine. I've enjoyed it. Someone else might say, well, I can sell my one, so they can make let's say they decide to sell it. It's not selling that high. It won't. By then, it'll be even lower. You'll be about £200 most, maybe £180, £200. So I send it back. I've got nothing to show for it. Oh, that's stupid. And then someone else says, oh, I'm going to sell my one. I can sell mine, blah, blah. They've only made £180 more than me, and I didn't pay loads out at once. I just trickled it. It was trickled over time. Didn't really notice it so much. So, yeah, I think you work it out in your head. You don't have to own everything at the end of them. Do you know what I mean? You can make a decision. It's just an informed decision. What is the opportunity they're going to give me? It's going to be one of 3 options, isn't it? It's going to be, it might be 4 options, but it's going to be keep it and pay the price, whatever the value is that they'll determine based on the market value. It'll be return it, be done. Oh, there's 4. Yeah, I thought there was. So you can return it, be done, or you can keep paying the monthly cost, which would be stupid because you'll be paying it forever. Well, when do you stop with that? Or you can upgrade it. So I don't know. This might be the last one PlayStation do because they don't seem to support it long enough to VR. But let's say a new Meta Quest come out, and I'm interested. Let's say Meta Quest 4 comes out. I could say, I don't want to keep that. Send it back, and I'll just lease the Meta Quest 4, so it's upgraded. If I'm still into VR, I mean that's what I'm saying. You've got options. It's not like you have to definitely keep it just to see, because that'd be dumb. If you go into I think if you go with the attitude of I have to keep it at the end, it's the only way to make sense. You will be hemorrhaging money. It's not free to keep it in. Like to keep the Switch 2, it's going to cost probably £400 at the end of its cycle. To keep the PlayStation 5, it'll probably be another £400. If I'm fed up at that point, let's say I've exhausted all the games I want to play, I'm not really playing it. There's no point me paying them £400 just so I can say it was worth it because now I've got something to show for it. If I don't want it anymore, just take it. I've had my value out of it. It's been fine. I've had £20 a month. What I do, I make things comparable, like I just said about the takeaways. If you do PlayStation Plus, if you do the premium, the really high one, I don't know if it's premium or extra, I think it's extra, you get 3 games every month to play, a bit like Game Pass. But you have to keep making those payments, otherwise you don't have access to it anymore. And that's every month. So if you look at the cost of this PlayStation right now, £21 a month. Some people get it cheaper, but I'm paying £21 a month. I don't really need PlayStation Plus. I've already got a lot of games. I don't really need the online. I can play some online games on my PC and things. You know what I mean? So, like, from my point of view, it's only about £7 more. So let's say I decide I don't want I think PlayStation Plus is actually £13.50, but the price will always go up. It's not going to stay that forever. So in the life cycle, who knows what price it'll be? Let's say £15 though. Someone will be paying that, and they think, "Oh, I've got a great value." They only play 1 or 2 games, and it's the same thing all the time. And they just do it because they feel they should. They don't want to miss out. Now, of course, they've had to pay that. They've had to pay it outright on the console and all that, but it's not that much more just to have the console. Haven't had to pay the outright price they've done, and you've got the same experience. You've just not got the access to the library of games that they're paying a subscription for and the online shit. It depends what you need. So from my point of view, if you said to me, you can have PlayStation Plus, like for instance, this is probably the way to think about it a little bit. It's probably the best way to put it into perspective, I think personally. It's a bit like if you're on a PC, it's a bit different, I know, but if you're on a PC, you can have a PlayStation Plus subscription. It's slightly less than £15, but let's just say it's £15. £15 a month, you can stream the games to your device. £15 a month. You go, well, that's good because I can play Spider-Man, I can play all those games. Or for £21 a month, it's about £6 more. So £6-7 more a month, you can have a PlayStation 5 console. And you have it as a disc drive, and you can just buy the games. You can even buy them pre-owned or whatever you want to do. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I want the console. And now the console don't look so dear, does it? Because that's the comparables. But of course, if you start adding the layers, going, I'm going to have the PlayStation Plus, I'm going to have all that, then of course it does. But that's what I'm looking at. It's like the cost of these memberships. I've got them, but I'm thinking of cancelling them because I've got devices to replace. So do I need? So now let's say I've got PlayStation 5. I've got PlayStation Plus on top because I'm like this. I'm not really using it. Or I can cancel PlayStation Plus and I can have myself a Switch 2. Oh, I'd rather have Switch 2. That's what you've got to ask yourself. It's like, where's too many people have too many subscriptions and they have too many other things. And it's like, they don't think about like what the alternative could be. And that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm just going to be enjoying myself with my choices. Anyway, it's quite a long video, isn't it? Didn't mean to be this long. I probably could have wrapped this up in 5 minutes, but if anyone likes to listen to a rambler, I'm the rambler. He's a rambler. A rambler. Yeah, anyway, let's get rid of this lot. Right, anyway, hopefully it's been some sort of informative to a degree for people. Look at this mess.